Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to the first episode review for the Pokemon Aim to Be a Pokemon Master mini-series. Now, this series is got an interesting situation. So, apparently, some sites, especially Hulu in Japan, apparently are classifying this episode as Pokemon Journeys episode 137. And let's just be honest, this is technically no longer Journeys. This is kind of its own thing. And Journeys concluded in 136. And I was very conflicted on it, and I asked you guys in a poll earlier today, hey, what should I call this episode review? Should I just continue on with Journeys, or just go with Aim to Be a Pokemon Master? And, needless to say, you guys want me to just name the reviews by the new series name, so that's what we're going to stick with. But, yeah. So, this first episode, it's just Ash going out on his journey with Pikachu, just continuing his journey. And, I probably should talk about what this episode's about now, so, let's do that. So, anyways, before we start that, you guys know the drill. If you're someone that's new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you would do that. Okay, if I'm being honest, the first half of this episode, there's not really a whole lot to talk about regarding the review portion here. It's just Ash and Pikachu just continuing their journey. We don't know where Ash and Pikachu are at this moment, so it's left up to interpretation. So it's up to you guys to determine where Ash is at in the confines of this episode. But some moments I thought were pretty enjoyable in the first half of this episode was when Ash caught a Beedrill in his hand. It was a Kakuna originally, but then it evolved right into Beedrill, which I thought was kind of funny. And then there was an unfortunate scene where Ash got bit by a bunch of Magikarp, I think 3 of them, in the butt. And it looks like a very unfortunate looking screenshot. Yeah. So those were kind of the main highlights in the first half of this episode. But the plot really kicks in when Team Rocket strikes. They recite their old motto, which was kind of refreshing. It was nice to see. And then they try to steal Pikachu. Pikachu's caught up, and that's when we get the reveal that Ash is rotating his team, and he's got a different pair of Pokemon with him compared to what he had in Journeys. He's got Sceptile, he's got Weasel, he's got Donphan, and he's got Noivern. An interesting team, I must say so. But anyways, they blast Team Rocket off, and this is different than your normal blasting off. As Team Rocket are being blasted off, they actually collide with Latias. It sends them flying in the other direction, and Latias crashing into a lake injured after getting hit by Team Rocket. Anyways, Ash attempts to help out Latias, which Latias is hesitant and tries to get away from Ash as it's distrusting towards humans. But it ends up passing out, and Ash ends up actually healing it with a potion, which I thought was a pretty interesting scene. So they're camping out. Latias is bandaged up. It's resting. They're all sleeping at the campfire. Team Rocket comes back, and they realize that Ash has come across a Latias, which they plot to steal it. Of course they do. When the morning comes, Latias wakes up, and it's still not trusting Ash and tries to get away from them. And that's when Team Rocket strikes, and then their old balloon. We haven't seen that in a little bit. But anyways, they capture Latias, and Ash apparently gets sucked up as well. And they're actually getting frozen in this little sphere that they're in below the Meowth balloon. And, Pikachu ends up breaking them out, which Ash actually connects with Pikachu. Well, it seemingly looks like it connects with Pikachu. Like, he breaks out thanks to Pikachu. They kind of work in tandem together. To get out of that situation, they break through, and as they're falling, Ash is falling towards Latias. Team Rocket get blasted off. And Noivern initially tries to go catch Ash, thinking that, Latias is not going to do anything, but that's when Latias ends up catching Ash itself. And then it goes off and just, in the end, it manages to trust Ash and the others, and that's pretty much where the episode comes to an end. That's pretty much the main plot line for this episode. So I did want to mention a few things here as well. So, as we got the new series, we have a new opening, newish opening, and I'm kind of mixed on it. So, it's not a bad opening, but there's a lot of old clips, which makes sense. This is the final series for Ash, so it makes sense that they're kind of, cycling through like older anime highlights from the previous series. I was kind of hoping that maybe some stuff would be reanimated, or something like that. I mean, the ending where Ash is with Misty and Brock at the end, that's reanimated from the original scene from the original opening, but I don't know. I was kind of expecting something different. Who knows? Maybe every single episode will have a different looking opening. I'm going to keep my expectations low there, but I'm kind of hoping that might be the case. Like, we'll just say, for example, we get the Misty episode. Maybe the opening focuses on Misty. Or like with Brock and Silent, there's a bunch of scenes from Brock and Silent, maybe the episode where they met, too. I don't know, it's probably wishful thinking. That's something I would like to see, but if this is kind of how the opening is, I'm just kind of alright with it. I mean, I will say it is bringing things full circle, but to me, it's okay. It's serviceable. Oh, and I want to mention really quickly that it seems like the Team Rocket and Paldea shorts is continuing on with this series. I don't know if it's going to be just for a couple more episodes or if it's going to be for the remaining 10 episodes, but we got the 4th short here, and it's Team Rocket meeting Koraidon. And just like the other ones, they meet it, they try to catch it, and it's kind of funny because it just like chases them off and blasts them off. It was actually kind of funny because it went from like, oh, let's catch it, to, oh my gosh, this thing's going to kill us. I don't know, but I thought it was actually pretty entertaining this time around. It's probably my favorite of the shorts so far. And I'm guessing Koraidon is probably going to be next in next week's episode. So yeah. Now overall, as a first episode for this new miniseries, I have to say this episode was kind of just okay in my opinion. Not a bad episode, not a great episode. And I know that there was quite a few people that actually really liked this episode. And that's fine. If you like this episode, that's cool. I'm not knocking you for that. To each their own, but for me, this episode was just okay. I felt like the plot was a little too basic in my opinion. The one thing I thought was pretty interesting in the episode was that when Team Rocket was blasted off, they're the reason why Latias got injured, because as they're blasting off, they collide with it. I thought that was pretty neat. That was kind of different, and that drove the plot for the rest of the episode, so I will give kudos there. I thought that was rather interesting and well done. But overall, the whole plot line of Ash or his friends finding a Pokemon or a legendary Pokemon, it doesn't trust them, but eventually they gain the trust of legendary Pokemon, or the Pokemon that's injured, so to say. And that's how the episode ends. We've seen that done a couple times in Pokemon anime, so yeah, it's one of those things where like we've got over 1,000 episodes, so we're gonna run into the same plot lines from time to time. So I've seen this type of episode done before. I mean, it's still a pretty decent episode, but just in my opinion, it's nothing like super special besides the fact that it's a Latias, and we know Ash's interaction with Latias from the Pokemon Heroes movie, so yeah, there's that. Now, after viewing this episode, I'm wondering how they're going to handle the whole Pokemon Master question, because obviously with this first episode, nothing was addressed here. And this is not the first time that Ash has actually saved a legendary Pokemon. It's just, I guess, the newest entry in a long list of legendaries he's saved in the past. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm just curious to see how they're going to handle that. Like, are all these episodes going to be connected in some way? I'm a little worried that the episodes are going to be too self-contained. This episode just kind of feels like its own thing. I'm hoping the rest of the episodes have some sort of connection between them. And maybe towards the end, Ash thinks back to the events in these episodes, and then he realizes he's a Pokemon Master or something. Like, at this moment, I'm really unsure how they're going to answer that question. I just hope that there's some type of continuity between the episodes that leads into one another. At first, I was thinking maybe that'd be the case with Misty going into episode 3 from episode 2, but I'm kind of unsure if that's going to be the case at this moment. Who knows? We don't know the episodes because they haven't aired yet, so who knows what's going to happen with next week's episode, but I'm just a little concerned with how they're going to handle the whole Pokemon Master question. That's what this series is about. For this first episode, I guess the expectation for me is how does this encounter with Latias lead to Ash's goal of becoming a Pokemon Master, him realizing he's a Pokemon Master, I guess. Will all these episodes be connected in that way? Like, if something significant happens in the next episode, will it be connected to that? That's kind of my concern going into all this, since this whole series is going to be addressing that issue. So I kind of want the episodes to kind of have that theming with them. Like something happens in the episode that kind of adds to Ash realizing he's a Pokemon Master now, or something like that. Who knows? We'll see how the episodes go, but that's just kind of my like preliminary feelings after this first episode. Alrighty guys, that's all I got for my episode review. So this episode was alright. A decent start to this series, so we'll see how Ash versus Misty goes in episode 2. So I'm going to rate this episode 5 out of 10. A pretty average episode in my opinion. Not the worst, not the best either. So yeah, those are my thoughts. But what are your thoughts, guys? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Either way, I'd like to hear your thoughts, so post them in the comment section down below. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And guys, have a good day or night wherever you're at, and I will see you all later. Bye.